What's up, Rad fam? Today we're exploring the internet for creepy things once again. I'm really hyped up. I had a lot of Diet Coke today. But today we are exploring the creepiest things that have been posted for sale on eBay. So you could actually have bought some of these creepy things. I don't know why you'd want to buy some of these creepy things, but if you have a collection of creepy things, apparently don't be sleeping on eBay. So let's get to it. The Inverted Crucifix from the Home of Hell. What is Home of Hell? What is the Home of Hell? I don't know what that is. Is that a home that's said to be the portal to hell? Or maybe the listing explains. So this sold in October of 2014 for a whopping 50 bucks. Is that a good deal? I don't know. What's the Home of Hell? What's an inverted crucifix? Let's find out. The description says, this very cross placed in the home by a servant was found hanging against the wall, but this time in an inverted position. Horror and chill filled the Home of Hell. Over 100 years later, it was found to be in the attic. It's a windy night, y'all. It's 3 in the morning. I'm making some spooky videos. So make sure to turn that channel notification so that you are actually notified when my videos go up and I'm not just terrifying myself for no reason. Over 100 years later, it was found to be in the attic as the beautiful colonial home went under renovation. There under dust and cobwebs against an old warped wooden beam, as said to be found again in an inverted position. From horror movies, I know an inverted cross is spooky sign, right? That something's amiss, something paranormal, something evil, you know, that's spooky. I get that. But maybe this was just a cross that's a little top heavy. So when you put a nail, maybe like the spot for the nail is like slightly below the midpoint of like the weighted distribution, so then it spins. I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate here. I get fun, but it is very creepy, very unsettling though. If you were to see that, if you were to put that right side up and then leave the room and then come back and see it upside down, I'm sure that would send a shiver down your spine. This next one is a haunted zippy pinhead doll, and I ain't gonna lie to you guys, when I saw this picture of this pinhead doll, the first thing I thought of was Pinhead from SpongeBob. Patrick is Pinhead. I'm not gonna lie, that is literally what I thought. Is it supposed to be? I don't think so. He has ears, and Patrick doesn't have ears. So anyways, so no one bought this. No one wanted a haunted Patrick star doll. The description says he was cursed by one that practiced the darkest of the arts. I don't know why darkest, why darkest is capitalized, you know, emphasis, right? Get that clickability, you know what I'm saying? But why was arts also capitalized? So that another soul may find him and thus reap misfortune, bad luck, ill fate, illness, and all the evil of this hexed, cursed doll, maybe even death. I would like to pass him along ASAP, and I dare not remove him from his plastic coffin. Will you? I really like how he says plastic coffin. Boy, that is a plastic bag. Like, what are you? Coffin. I see his face right there. Okay, that's nothing special. Few things here. If you're selling something fully acknowledging that this thing may cause death to another person, does that not make you a bad person? I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that kind of evil? Is that kind of an evil thing for someone to do, to purposely sell something that could be dangerous to another person, knowing full well? But then again, they did tell you, hey, this is what could happen. So if you want to buy it, that's on you, which I get it. I get it. Okay, never mind. I'm on the fence on this one. Ew, this next one is a mummified tongue, and that is disgusting and, quite frankly, health violations. Are you allowed to mail body parts to other people? Seems like something that would be illegal, but let's find out. Okay, so this actually did sell. Someone actually spent $51 on a mummified tongue. The description says, interesting, mummified Dorset tongue in a simple white matte and red textured background shadow box. Aesthetic goals. Tongue is very detailed with taste buds visible. Ugh, why is that a selling feature to you? Specimen is correctly preserved and will last indefinitely. Sure to be a great conversation piece. Great for your collection. Can be hung on the wall with supplied hanger or simply stood on a shelf of cabinet. Okay, the listing does not violate any eBay policy and is legal to buy, sell, and trade in all 50 states. It is a non-human taxidermy specimen. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Still disgusting, but I see how then it's not illegal. When it says it's a great conversation piece, yeah, if I were to like have just met you, or I don't know too much about you, and then you host like a dinner party at your house and you invite me and I come and I see that thing hanging up on your wall, dude, bye. Like, no, that is not okay. That is a conversation piece to ask somebody, What's that? Oh, it's a Mummified Tongue? You spent $51 on that? Okay, well, I just remembered I had plans and I had to leave early. Yep, my cat's sick, gotta go. This next piece is a ghost in a jar, and quite frankly, I want to know how you would validate that claim. Oh my, are you kidding me? It was sold in June of 2003 for $50,000. $50,000. Someone spent $50,000 on a ghost in a jar. They better have like a certificate of authenticity or something. This better prove that ghosts exist for $50,000. Back in the early 1980s, while out metal detecting, I came across an old abandoned cemetery with a foundation of a home site or church or something nearby. While searching around the foundation, my detector indicated that there was something in the ground close by the southwest corner of the foundation. After digging down about 2 feet, my shovel struck a wooden box that had nearly rotted out. The metal hinges and clasp were about all that was left of it. I thought I had discovered a fortune. Boy, did that ever turn out to be wrong. There were 2 jars and an old journal in the box. The jars had some strange writing and symbols on the front. Leave it. Leave it. I see some strange symbols. It looks creepy. I'm in a creepy area. I'm leaving it. I'm not bringing that back with me. I don't want to be cursed. While getting the jars out of the ground, I dropped one and it broke. A black mist or something seeped out of it. Okay, but that might be in like lead dust or something. I finally talked to someone who is versed in these things and was told that the only way to rid myself of this thing was to pass the unopened jar onto someone else. Therefore, I am offering it to you if you dare, the ghost in a jar. With it, I am sure you'll be getting the black thing also, if you're brave enough to want this bid to your heart's desires. I'm a little conflicted here. He said, boy was I wrong, insinuating that bad luck followed him once it broke, right? But he didn't go into detail. The person never said what happened. I just feel like there's a lot left out of that story for someone to bid $50,000 on this thing. I want to hear details. I want picture proof. I want journals. I want something to tell me that this thing is haunted and cursed and why I should believe you and pay $50,000 for it. I don't get it. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe this was a hoax. $50,000. Okay, wow. That's crazy. People have too much money to spend. Please spend it on me. Where's this person at? This next one is a painting called the Anguish Man painting. It looks very much like the Scream painting, right? Is that what it's actually called, the Scream? I don't know if it's actually called that, but it looks like that, you know, like ghost face and such. The seller of this oil painting describes it as a horrific paranormal portrait. The artist is unknown, but according to its owner, the artwork may be responsible for a number of spooky things on around the house. Since owning this painting, I have experienced a number of strange paranormal events that cannot be easily explained, the seller writes in this listing. Ooh, if something like spooky were to happen to my house and I would even for a second think it was like the new painting I bought, that thing would be donated or in the trash the next day. Not even the next day. That second, right after I had that thought. These include hearing disembodied footsteps from elsewhere in the house, the sound of a bird's song appearing out of the air in the living room, and finally observing a heavy metal door latch lift by itself and the kitchen door open by itself. Even if you don't need a haunted painting for yourself, it could make a great gift for a less than loved one, the listing suggests. Once you have an annoying colleague and you know it's their birthday and then you buy them this painting, and of course, you know, if they don't want to be rude, they're going to be like, oh, thanks, and they're going to accept it and like leave in their cubicle, or they're going to take it home with them and then they'll be cursed. That's kind of funny. That's evil. Don't do that. But it's kind of funny. The mysteriously smelly photo. Whenever someone says something smelly, I instantly think of like unpleasant smells. I think of toots. I think of garbage. I think of just other gross things. So why would you want to intentionally buy a photo that stunk? And how is this creepy? Let's find out. This historic daguerreotype, oh, I am not pronouncing that right, is reportedly inhabited by a Victorian gent named Martin. It was initially found in the eaves of an attic, like they always are. It's either an attic or it's a basement. The two creepiest places of a house is where all these things were always found. And its owner would bring it out for guests to see. Eventually, people began to notice that certain smells would mysteriously appear and just as mysteriously disappear, such as the scent of roses and cigar or pipe smoke, or even the odor of smoke from a wood fire. The seller writes. Okay, they think it's from the picture? When questioned with a Ouija board, the spirit inside was sometimes talkative and even playful, but other times reticent, Words today, guys. But some spooky things started happening in the house, like objects disappearing or being moved. The strange going-ons became more frequently until finally the image was removed from the house and sent to a collector who reports some continued activity. I guess the spooky things happening in the house could be traced back to the photo, I guess. It's interesting, the smell though. I've only heard a few stories where smell accompanies something that's said to be inhabited by a ghost's spirit. Usually it's like smells that are very strongly tied to them. Like if they always had a tobacco pipe in their mouth, you would smell tobacco. But it's interesting that it says tobacco, fire, and rose. Like those are very different smells. I've never heard of one having multiple smells before. A highly active ring. I'm assuming that means some spooky stuff happens wherever this ring is by. And you know, if you knew that, why would you keep it? Why would you keep it? Why would you keep something that's haunted? I don't know. According to the seller, described in the listing as a small paranormal investigation society, the stainless steel and stone ring is possessed by a ghost named Aiden. And if you wear it or keep it close by, you'll bond with the highly active spirit. What does that mean? Bond, like in a good way? I mean, bond, I would think of like friendship. So like, hey, to be friends with a ghost would be interesting, right? Like that's a different twist. No longer will you be afraid of ghosts, right? If you have one that's a BFF, maybe that's a friendship ring. This could be cute. Maybe. The 19-year-old Aiden, supposedly died in a motorcycle accident and now appears as light streaks or in vision. He will turn lights on and off, close and open doors, and a faint smell of men's cologne can be smelled in the air when he is active, the seller writes. Okay, so nothing spooky specifically. I mean, the idea of a ghost being attached to a ring is a little unnerving, but hey, he's being playful. Shoes that go tap in the night. I value my sleep. I don't get great quality sleep, so the sleep I do get, I do not want disturbed by a ghost, okay? So why you would buy these shoes is beyond me. Said to contain the spirit of a little girl called Lisa. That's really creepy. These shoes were found by someone who was curating their late aunt's estate, tucked in a nursery closet along various Victorian clothes and toys. They suspected they were haunted, the seller writes. If actually possessed, tap dancing might wake one up in the middle of the night. The noise wasn't the only indication of the shoes' otherworldly nature. The house they were found in was rumored to be home to a number of ghosts, including that of a woman who had murdered her baby there in the 19th century and the spirit of a 9-year-old who died of sepsis. Wow, this is a terrifyingly sad and tragic house. Oh my gosh, I'm more fascinated by the house, to be honest. And that's something, actually. Why is it whenever they say a house is haunted, a lot of the times they're haunted by more than one spirit? What is it about an abode that makes it more susceptible to have ghosts in it? If you have like a theory on it, I would really like to know. And the last one I'm going to be covering today is quite sad. I'm sorry I left the saddest one for last, but it is an 18th century child's haunted coffin. I mean, the idea of an old coffin is a little spooky, right? The idea of a child's coffin is incredibly sad. So then I put those ideas together and you got a creepy, sad idea. According to this, it was not sold. It was posted in 2013 for $1,200, which is quite a lot. The description says, the seller's friend has sold this 7 times. Why? How do they keep making money off the same thing? Like, is someone buying it and then returning it and not asking for a refund? Or are they demanding a refund too? Does that make you believe something is more haunted? Or do you think it's like just less haunted and people are upset that they spent $1,200 on it? Everyone keeps bringing it back to her, so she asked me to list this on my computer store. She does not have the internet. Each owner has complained of things happening that did not happen before their purchase. Things falling off their walls, shelves, the TV changing by itself, turning on and off on its own, lights flickering, and so on. Your typical poltergeist behavior. It is a child after all. Are people buying this antique child's coffin as home decor? Is that something people do? I know David's vlogs, they had a coffin in their house. I mean, I guess it's an antique and so people would collect that, but she's sold it 7 times. So that means 7 people collect antique coffins in their home? Because it had to be in their home, right? For creepy things to be happening, it would have to be near it. Am I missing out on some interesting home decor? Maybe. Maybe I am. Huh. Very interesting, very weird, very creepy though. But that does it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found these as creepy as I did. There are some weird things on eBay and this was just dipping our toe into the pond of the creepiness that is on eBay. If you did like today's video, please turn on my channel notifications so you are notified when the next video goes live. And until next time, keep up the radness. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye. Did you hear that? That was freaky. It sounded like someone was tapping and it was coming from my bed. That was so creepy.